Hello, everyone. This is Independent Conservative. Thank you all for joining me. So, black voters in Philadelphia pushed back against the narrative of supporting Kamala Harris as the next president for the next 4 years, God forbid. And they have some very valid points that I'm going to read to you in this article that I think is worth mentioning, because even though these black individuals from Philadelphia are a part of what is called the Republican Club, so you know they're going to be, okay, people are going to say, well, they're going to be biased anyway. I think that what they have to say when I read this article to you, these in reference to the comments, that you might want to think different about it. Because inevitably the question is, are most blacks thinking like this but are not voicing their concerns about it? I would say they are. Let's get right into this. Black supporters of Donald Trump in Philadelphia shared their reasons for opposing Vice President Kamala Harris with MSNBC in a special election episode of Alex Wagner Tonight. Never heard of it. I don't watch it. I don't. Okay. But I find it interesting that but I find it interesting that MSNBC would be doing a interview with some Republicans, black Republicans, in reference to whether or not they should vote for Kamala Harris. I find it very interesting because MSNBC is like the communists. I mean, they go to bed with communists all the time, so to speak. You know, they like the lovers of all communists, right? You know. They're so far left, it's ridiculous. So I find this interesting. But let's get right into this. Wagner spoke with members of the Black Republican Club of Philadelphia in the critical swing state of Pennsylvania. Members offered a myriad of reasons for supporting Trump over Harris that ultimately boiled down to her record and qualifications. Now, let's hear this out here. She's a woman of color. I'm not putting her down because of that. And I'm not putting her down because she's a woman, Crystal Canty told Wagner. I'm not a feminist, so I'm sorry. But at the end of the day, I don't. So that's part of the reason she's not a feminist, because all feminists are in support of Kamala Harris, regardless of her qualifications. She's a woman. We're going to support her no matter what, which I think is stupid, dumb, and ignorant. But anyway, I'm not a feminist, so I'm sorry. But at the end of the day, I don't think she has the personality. I don't think that she has what it takes to go up against Putin and go up against these other presidents that are built for this. And this individual has a valid point. This black American here has a valid point. Will Kamala Harris be able to go up against people like Putin, who are made for this type of stuff? Putin is a seasoned politician. Okay, the brother's rough. Okay, he's already trying to take over Ukraine. What are you going to do about that? If she becomes president, what is she going to do? Come on, Putin, you know, you're making me want to poop. What is she going to do? I mean, come on. You know, her personality doesn't seem to fit that type of mode, if you will. She doesn't, I agree with this young lady here. She doesn't have that kind of personality to be able to go up against someone like Putin. She won't be able to match him. Now, one could argue that's not reason to say that she shouldn't be president, but okay, yeah, whatever. Say what you want, but I don't think she has what it takes either. When it comes to personality and inner strength, I don't think she has that. But anyway, participants pushed back when Wagner asked if black voters were uncomfortable with Harris's gender. Most men, they love their mothers. They love their wives, a female voter, Justice Felix told Wagner, adding, quote, she just don't have the qualifications and the education to really run America because she just don't have the experience. Let me make a comment on that. I wouldn't say not having experience qualifies her or disqualifies her from running as president, because one can argue that Trump didn't have experience as a politician. Okay. And I don't think he didn't. He didn't have experience. That was his first time running for office. And he did exceptionally well as the 4 years he was as president. The difference between Trump not having experience and Kamala Harris not having experience is that Trump was smart enough not to show it. He didn't show his ignorance. Okay, Kamala Harris shows her ignorance every time she opens her mouth in these prefabbed interviews. Okay, so that's the problem. That's the problem. She shows how ignorant she is. If Kamala Harris had hidden her ignorance, a lot of people would probably not wonder too much about her education and her skills and her qualifications. But because she allows her ignorance to come out of the blue every time she opens her mouth, then people are like, okay, she doesn't know what she's talking about. Let's read on. She doesn't understand. She doesn't understand our struggles. And for me to believe you for another 4 years, you're crazy. Like, you're crazy. You're saying the same thing you said 4 years ago, agreeing that Harris had a chance to fix the problems as vice president. Another voter zeroed in on Harris's time cutting her political teeth in California. The very first time I heard the name Kamala Harris, it was in association to locking up parents for truancy, Dr. Alfie Goodwin explained. That was the first time I ever heard of her name. And I really didn't understand how this woman claims to be a black woman, yet she's locking up black women and black men and separating families. Now, let me say this on this. I mean, I don't want to get this is the I kind of understand what he's saying, but it's not really that's not really all that great, simply because if she was black, let's say if she was black, if black people are breaking the law, and I'm not saying all the people that was locked up during her time, as during her time as district attorney was the issue, but if she was truly black, like real black, and locking up black people, the question inevitably is she locking them up because they're breaking laws? They're breaking the law and she's locking them up, or she's locking them up simply because she's racist. I mean, the idea that she really doesn't understand how this woman claims to be a black woman, yet she's locking up black women and black men and separating families, seems to suggest to me, and I'm not against what they're saying here, I'm trying to analyze it, It seems to me is that this person is saying, if you black, you shouldn't be locking up these people. I don't think that's the issue, if people are breaking the law, regardless of their race, they should go to jail, They get caught, they should go to jail. I don't think that's a valid point in too much of a way, but I understand what he's saying. I understand what this person is saying, I do. I get it. She claims to be black, but she's locking up all these black people. But I don't think that's the issue. The issue is, what is she locking these black people up for? If the reasoning for her locking these black people up is invalid and stretched out and exaggerated and overdone, for lack of a better word, then one would argue, what's the deal here? You claim to be black, you just locking up a bunch of black people for reasons that aren't good reasons. Then it would be an issue, And for what I'm hearing, a lot of people are saying that it was an issue. She was like, when that 1994 crime bill went about, she was, according to one source, said Kamala Harris was like, and I'm going to make sure that and I'm paraphrasing the words, I'm going to make sure I get rid of the drug dealers and I get rid of the this and I get rid of the that. The problem was that unfortunately, a significant number of the drug dealers and so forth were blacks. But the issue was, from what I understand, and correct me in the comment box below, the issue was that crime bill had a lot of black people being locked up for just having some weed on them. And they were being locked up for 15, 20 years. Really? If that's true, then it makes sense. It makes sense. It makes sense to hate Kamala Harris. And it also makes sense to dislike the Democratic Party once again. But then again, I can understand, because they're Democrats. They're the Democratic Party. They're the party of slavery. They always have been. Why would they do anything to benefit black people? I mean, truly benefit them. Anyway, go ahead. Go on. Wagner asked the group if Trump's message that Harris became black when it was convenient resonated with them. Here's one person says, absolutely, Goodwin responded. When she was sworn into the Senate, it was as the first Indian American, as a man interjected. Thank you. She was sworn in as the first Indian American, not black American, Indian American. Look, I'm just reading you guys what's on here in this article. I'm pretty sure this is what happened. I'm just reading you what these guys said. I'm pretty sure they want this person was lying. She was sworn in as a Senate into the Senate, it was the first Indian American. But all of a sudden she's black now. Trump was right when he said that. But anyway, but regardless of Kamala's race and gender, voters came back to Harris's record and her inability to deliver after almost 4 years in the nation's second most powerful position. We all know she's not black. Let's understand that. We are all clear of that, Valerie Martin said, concluding. But my point of view, she's already been there. She's in office right now. End of article. Yeah. Pretty straightforward. Yeah. And like I said in the introduction to this, I understand that these individuals are Republicans, but who's to argue in this Republican club, who's to argue that at one point these black Americans weren't Democrats and saw the horrible, dismal policies put forth by Biden and Harris and said, you know what, I'm not going to support these people anymore. And they joined this Republican club. Who knows? But everything they're saying is clear. It's clear that a significant number of black people, it seems to me now, and I used to be always pessimistic, and I am still kind of lightweight pessimistic about black people here in the city of Cleveland. But yeah, it seems like to me more and more black people are coming out and saying, wait a minute, we don't support Kamala Harris. And that goes back to what I stated earlier in this video. Could it be that there are a lot of black people that are hush hush? They really want to support Trump. They don't want to have nothing to do with Kamala Harris, but they're fearful of the repercussions. They're fearful of the backlash. But if you don't, the old saying goes, and it's true, if you don't stand for something, you're going to fall for anything. You got to stand for something. All this neutrality nonsense is aggravating. You can only stay neutral for so long. Eventually, you're going to have to take sides because it's going to come down to communists and non-communists sooner or later in this country. It's going to come down to that. You can't be in between. You're going to either support the Communist Party, which is what this country is going to eventually come down to if it don't change, or not. And if you don't, you might have to die for it. But what are you willing to do? Are you willing to stand for something you believe in, or are you willing to give in to this crap that they're pushing towards you? So like I said, I believe, now reading what I've just read out of this article, I believe there are a lot of black people, and maybe in the city of Cleveland, my native-born city of Cleveland, they want to vote for Trump. They want to support Trump, but they don't want the backlash. They don't want to deal with the backlash. The whole idea that Kamala Harris is black, stop it, y'all. Stop it. She ain't black, man. Come on now. Come on now. And what was his name? What's that guy's name, that comedian's name? D.L. Hughley. I can't stand him. I cannot stand him. I remember hearing something he said about a month or so ago, tripping on black men and black people not supporting Kamala Harris. I think it was black men he was mad at for not supporting Kamala Harris. Man, you a simp. I cannot stand it. What reason should I support her? If you argue because she's a black woman, you are a fool. I'm not saying anyone that's watching this video, okay? I'm talking about D.L. Hughley, Boogly, whatever. You're a fool, bro. If you're telling me you should vote for her because she's black, she's not black. Prove it. Prove that woman is black. She's not black. I just read to you in a freaking article. The person said when she was sworn in as a freaking Senate, it said Indian American. I'm pretty sure if they can tell the difference between the two. If she wanted to be black then, she would have said I'm black American. Now all of a sudden she's black American. She's saying that to win your votes. Wake the HELL up, people. Trying to shame somebody. I can't stand that bull crap. D.L. Hughley, shut up, man. People talking about to me, boy, please, whatever. I'm right here. What you gonna do? I ain't quitting. I'm gonna keep telling the truth, whether people like it or not, whether people agree or not. I like doing this. I love it. I love hearing myself talk. How about that? I said it before. I said it again. I love hearing myself talk. I'm okay with it. But yeah, I'm glad they're doing this. I'm glad that we got some black people that are coming out and they're saying, look, we don't support this. We don't support. Look, man, look, she's not black. You know, she's had 4 years. She never did anything. Stop lying to us. It's over, Kamala. It's over. It's over. So come November, Let's see what those ballots gonna say. Let's see. But I just wanted to read that to you guys. What do you guys think about these individuals here? You know, what do you think? Do you think they were sincere? You think it's just a small group, or do you think more black people are trying to come out, so to speak, and say, "Hey, I do support Trump"? You know, I don't want to deal with I want to deal with the persecution. So, but at the end of the day, I do support his policies because I think his policies are best for Black Americans and for all Americans. What do you guys think? Leave your comments in the comment section below. Like, share, and subscribe to my channel. God bless you all, and see you again.